It was a fortnight, 2 weeks from Independence Day, 1831, when Thomas Rogers, the company clerk at Wertz Reinhardt's, acquainted me with the most peculiar order. He told me that I must fulfill an order that he received from the Backus residence. I was to deliver a new pair of shoes to Master Henry Backus, a young charge who was under the care of his nursemaid, who was also my wife, Ruthie. I had suspected that she was the one who had sent the order, yet I remembered that Master Henry already had a new pair of shoes given to him for his parents' funeral. However, careful not to reveal any of these thoughts to Thomas Rogers, I quickly obeyed his order, got the company horse, and rode towards Green Street to deliver the items to the Backus residence. I arrived at the residence, but before I could even hitch my horse, a figure suddenly swung the front door open and ran towards me. It was Ruthie, who tearfully embraced me. It was true that she was still in mourning, grieving the loss of her mistress, Charlotte Backus, and Mr. Charlotte's daughter. The two of them had succumbed to the fever in Louisville only 2 months before. And only a month before, the patriarch of the house, George Backus, died from grief. Yet it behooved us slaves not to make a spectacle of ourselves before any whites, who certainly would be apt to comment, could speculate about what we were about. Therefore, I gently removed myself from Ruthie's embrace and reminded her of the order that I was sent to fulfill for her. That is not to say, though, that I was without feeling. I offered to Ruthie an allowance of time to go inside the Backus residence to ensure that Master Henry had received a properly fitted shoe suitable for the approaching holiday. Ostensibly, I made this offer to keep appearances before the public, but in reality, I wanted to know what was the matter with my beloved. Persuaded by my offer, Ruthie invited me inside the Backus residence. Once inside, I discovered that this order was a trick that Ruthie had played on me to gain my confidence and to safely relay in private that the cloud of difficulties which had plagued the Backus residence had finally reached our own doorstep. Ruthie relayed that Master Henry had been placed under the custody of a local attorney and made his legal guardian. Worst of all, Ruthie had been sold away to Virgil McKnight, a local attorney in the area. At this, Ruthie collapsed into my arms, and I lost for words, knowing that my beloved was at the hands of powers that were beyond my reach. I wept alongside her. We were joined in one brow of woe, as ceaseless and overflowing as the Ohio River itself. That same day, after finishing the work for the day at Wertz Reinhardt's, instead of retiring west towards Judge Oldham's residence, I had decided instead to walk east along Main Street. Near Jefferson, on the east side of First Street, was the Pen. The Pen is one of the largest establishments of its kind in Louisville. It's a large open yard that's enclosed by high brick walls. To the anonymous passerby, this building appears harmless, yet nearly all Louisvillians knew what transpired behind those high brick walls, an open market for slaves. It housed anywhere from 10 to 100 Negroes at a time, of various ages, but all deemed fit for sale downriver. The dealer here sold property to the most prominent families in Louisville and bought a surplus intended for sale downriver to the lower South, where slave owners there were keen to replenish their own stock. Though the slave here in Louisville is not sent to the fields or as closely watched as his brothers are in the lower South, he still must be attentive to his master's every need and whim. And like Ruthie, even if the slave is blessed with a kind and beneficent owner, follows her orders promptly and punctually, and honors her betters with utmost obedience, she still can be sold at a moment's notice, sold in the parlor of mistress' house, or sold behind those high brick walls, hidden from plain sight. Hidden from plain sight. Hidden from plain sight. At the utterance of this old saying, my mind conceived of a plan to free my beloved and myself. If you would like to see the rest of this interpretation, please visit the Frazier on September 16th and come to the Brown-Forman Theater at 1 p.m. There you'll see the full performance of Thornton Blackburn. Thank you for watching.